All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD1000 Web Development Technologies course, I've been doing a series of video presentations that are based on the PowerPoint slides for one of the textbooks for this class, and that textbook is Murox's JavaScript and jQuery 4th edition. Let's take a quick look. And there it is. Now, I should mention to you, I have done all of the chapters for Section 1, all of the chapters for Section 2, all of the chapters for Section 3, and now I am getting into Section 4. So the first one we're going to go through is Chapter 17, how to work with functions, closures, and modules. So let's get to it. How to work with functions, closures, and modules. And as always, first thing that we have here are our objectives, both our applied objectives, as you can see, and there's a couple more on the next page here. All right. So first thing we talk about in here are functions. So let's talk about, there's different ways that you can write functions. All right. So for instance, we've got function declarations here and function expressions here. Now look at how close these are to one another as we're doing this. All right. Now, in this first set of examples, or these two examples that are here, all right, this is more or less the old school type of way of doing it. Now, old school might not be the best way to put this, but it's the way that I'm going to use. So for instance, if I had a function and I called it add2, and I said I'm going to put in there n1 and I'm going to put in there n2, and I'm going to return n1 plus n2. That would say that when I would call this, I would say something like this. So let's come up above here. I'll make this a little bit bigger. And I'll say let number 1 equals 17. Let number 2 equal 57. All right. Then down here, I'm going to call add2, and I'm going to pass into it number 1, and I'm going to pass into it number 2. Now, it doesn't have to be down here. I could have done it right there. And let's make it even a little bit easier. Let's just console.log it. All right. Now let's look at what should happen. Then we'll try to run it and see if indeed that's what does happen. Now we're creating two variables up on top, number 1 and number 2. Since those variables are defined outside, defined outside of any function, method, whatever you want to call it, they're available program-wide, for lack of better words. So here we are invoking the function add2. We are passing number 1. This is known as an actual parameter. That's its actual name. And technically, since we defined it here, we didn't even really need to do that. We didn't even need to pass it. All right, I could have just left this off, and I really could have left this off and just said return number 1 plus number 2. So let's grab all of this and see if indeed I get 74. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to open up. All right, don't worry about this. We don't care. I want to just open up the console. Okay, and let's see. Let me clear. No. This one isn't going to work very well. So let's see if I just do it from right here. Well, let's paste that in. So let number 1 equal 17, let number 2 equal 57, console.log add 2, return number 1 plus number 2. And it gives us 74. Isn't that what we think we'd do, or what we'd get? All right, so 74, again, is our answer. That's what we want. Now, a couple things about this example here. First, again, these variables are, for lack of better words, they're treated as though they're almost global variables. They're known throughout this entire routine. Would you always do it that way? The answer is no. All right, in fact, quite often you'd see it written more like this. Function, we'll call it main. There's nothing special about the word main in the JavaScript language, but you use main a lot in other languages as a point of entry. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to end this. And I am going to call it down here because that's often what you see. So I've got this function called main, right? And main is going to create 2 variables here. These 2 variables. All right. And in fact, now in main, I'm going to call add 2. And now I do have to pass in number 1 and number 2. And the reason I have to pass both those in is since I define those variables inside of a function, they're unknown outside of the function unless I pass them. So again, these are their actual names, but inside of here, I can give them any name they want. I can call them X and Y, and it's totally fine. And now then I'll return X plus Y. And I should get, when I do this, I should get the same result that I got before, that being 74. And let's see if indeed we do. So I'm going to paste that in here, hit enter. There's our 74. Oh, maybe not. Console.log add 2. It's going to return that. Oh, nothing is calling main. That's the problem here. All right, let's do that again. And we'll come in here, and now we'll call main. All right, whoops. So we'll call main. And main will be called, which we'll call this. So that should work. Let's try that, and I apologize. 74. All I'm trying to show you right here is there's a bunch of different ways that we can do this. All right. Now, in this example right here, in this second example, what they assume you've done is you've defined the $sign that basically is going to allow you to do a query selector. All right. And so this is a shortcut for this. So to say $selector, the $sign is replacing document.querySelector. Is that important? Well, it's 1 character as opposed to what, 20 characters? 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 characters if I counted right. You're replacing with 1 character. All right. You can also have function expressions, and one of the neat things about JavaScript is that it allows you to take functions and use them like variables. All right, what does that mean? That means you can say something like this: constant name equal function with parameters, statements that run when the function is executed. So What if we did this? What if we came in here, and I'll just leave all this. In fact, I'll do this. I'm going to copy all that, paste it in down here, but it's going to look a lot different. So what if I just came in here and said this? Const function add 2, and we'll put in here, let's see, 37 and 53. We'll put some different numbers in there. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. So if we did this, if we said const function add 2, all right, and C function, why does it look funky? I'm going to stop right here because I am getting a phone call. I'm sorry.